Thank you.
What is IVSZ? IVSZ?
IVSZ, that's the Association of ICT Companies in Hungary.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Okay. So, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Who is responsible for our country's future economy? Who is responsible for the well-being of our societies? We tend to point out to politicians and wait for the birds fly in our mouths ready roasted. This is a very comfortable point of view, but leads nowhere. Okay? Politicians, except some, do not really understand what digitalization could mean for their countries, what kind of new opportunities it could bring. Digitalization is a buzzword for them, ergo they are not necessarily aware of what to do, how to support the trends, and how to make the most out of it. In the next couple of minutes, I'd like to show you the real chance digitalization offers for our region, how we could engage our politicians, and what kind of results we have achieved so far. I'm Wenczel from the Hungarian ICT Association, a market and a business development expert. To understand our story, we have to go back a couple of years to 1990. In 1990, we opened our borders. We changed the communist form of economy and the communist form government. With full of hope, we have plunged into globalization. That means that we had to act according to the rules of the globalization. And what does it mean, acting according to those rules? I don't want to criticize globalization. I just want to highlight a very important characteristic of this globalized economy. When a company goes global, it means that it splits up its value chain. The process of designing, producing, transporting, and selling their products, and put these chain links somewhere around the globe where it is the cheapest to execute. In everyday life, it means that the competition was about the price of the labor force. It resulted that the vast majority of production has moved to India, China, and the Far East. And that resulted in inequality in revenue growth. You might know the elephant graph that shows the revenue increase between 1988 and 2008 at the various percentiles of the world's population. I don't want to spend a lot of time analyzing this graph. I just want to highlight the most important message for us. This is the valley on the right. The valley on the right stands for the middle class of the Western world and the former socialist countries. And you can see that the real revenue income during these 2 decades is below 0%. So honestly, we cannot call ourselves as winner of the globalization. So as I mentioned, I come from the Hungarian ICT Association, but we prefer to call ourselves as the Association for the Digital Economy. We have 2 main goals. The one is to serve in the interest of the ICT sector by lobbying at the government to run and start specific programs, by inputting and commenting on regulations, and by showing new ideas to decision makers. And 2 is we are committed to support the spread of digitalization, as we are convinced that the digital transformation is the key to enhancing the competitiveness of our small and medium enterprises. But our belief and our commitment was not enough to pursue the politicians and reach outstanding results with them until we have found the revealing connection between digitalization and the newly forming competition in the world. The exponential development and the relative cheap availability of new technologies are reshaping the labor force market. Artificial intelligence, robotics, machine learning, automation will take over every repetitive and non-creative jobs from humans. So it won't be the price of the labor force which determines where to put the production anymore in the world. It will be the skills and knowledge of operating those robots, to program the automated machines, and to develop AI. And that requires a new type of workforce with higher level of education and with digital skills. And that is our opportunity we have to grab. That's our chance in the region to put our countries higher in the value chain pyramid and put ourselves on the winning side of this global game. And that was the message the politicians understood. So we had a common goal, we had a common understanding, we had appointed a common goal, and we were ready to start our journey to help our companies, to help our economy become more digital and encourage our SMEs to transform their business. So the other day, we went down to our cars to jump in and drive towards the desired destination, but we faced the following situation. We have huge difficulties to overcome. For example, labor force shortage. Now we are lacking more 10,000s of IT professionals and programmers from the Hungarian market. Lack of digital skills. So it's not enough. It's not enough to convince the owners and the management of small and medium enterprises to turn towards robotization and automation. We also have to train the people and develop their digital skills. And the third one is the resistance to digital transformation. This is the attitude of, why should I do anything with my business because it's healthy, it's up and running, and I don't want to invest in the far future benefits. How could we overcome these hurdles? We knew that there should be answers both from the government side with motivation, and regulation, and from the market to start specific programs and initiatives. The government answer was the Digital Wellbeing Program. The program was started approximately 3 years ago, and its aim is to define strategies for the different sectors and different parts of digitalization. And also we have started a couple of programs and initiatives on our own from the market side. Let's have a look at the results of the governmental efforts. As our association took a really active part in the underlying activities, I might say we have achieved to develop several strategies. We have developed a digital education strategy that covers all the necessary developments and actions to introduce the teaching of digital skills at every level of the education system, from elementary to secondary schools and up to higher and adult education. The strategy was so comprehensive and so complete that the project leader was invited to the headquarters of the UN in New York to have a presentation on it. I don't want to tell you all about all the strategies. I want to highlight the export development strategy that focuses on the 3 pillars of enhancing the Hungarian digital export, namely the governmental solutions, like we have the online cashier machines, and I could name other 40 approximately. The excellence and shared service centers to settle down in Budapest in Hungary, and of course, the enhancement of the digital export capabilities of small and medium enterprises. And I have to highlight also the digital agricultural strategy, which shows a roadmap for the industry how to become digital and how to remain competitive. 2 coalitions were established to make all the players sit down around the table, from business and academic sectors, from government and multinationals and local parties, to define all the necessary actions to pioneer in the field of 5G, and to vindicate a significant role in AI development. And of course, it's always the money that motivates the most. So we started to encourage digital transformation via calls for papers and EU-related grants. And we have also reached a couple of achievements from the market side as well. The Budapest University of Technology and Economy, together with our association, has developed a new kind of education program. So besides the traditional BA and MA degrees, this September they started a so-called Bachelor of Profession type of education, which is also a 3-year program like the BA, but has a more practical aspect. Lots of adult education training companies have appeared on the market to offer half a year or 1 year long coding programs for all those who are planning their career shifts. And we have started communication campaigns targeting the secondary school children and their families to choose IT as the area of their further education. And as a result, we have achieved to stop the declining trend of university applicants for these tech-related areas, and this year it shows a significant increase. Oops. Okay, I'd like to highlight that we have just started to establish an AI knowledge hub with the focus of covering the CE region to raise awareness and share best practices among small and medium enterprises. We cannot go by the dedicated project of Industry 4.0, where we try to make a couple of selected production plants to turn the processes digital and become an example for all the other companies and show them the best practices. And one of the results I'm personally very proud of is that during the last 3 years, Hungary has tripled its digital export. So, and how does it look like now from the country point of view? The digital economy is responsible for 20% of Hungary's GDP. It employs almost 1/5 of all employees and has a growth rate that exceeds the growth rate of GDP. So we are committed to foster digital transformation in Hungary and in our region. We just started on our yellow brick road towards the Emerald City, but we know we have still a lot to do. If you want to know more about us, we are happy to answer all your questions at the Hungarian booth, opposite to the room we are now in. And our colleagues from ALX Greece, from the Hungarian National Trading House, and myself from IVSZ are happy to answer all your questions. Thank you.
Thanks.